Hey everybody, it's Gina Bianca, Global Director of Hair Color for RUSK, and today I'm going to share with you how to use RUSK Color Eliminate Color Corrector. RUSK Eliminate gently removes unwanted oxidative hair color no matter how long it has been in the hair. Eliminate easily removes any level of hair color, is effective on all hair types, and leaves the hair in optimum condition. The precise control formula is easy to mix and apply and has a pleasant odor. Removes unwanted hair color without bleaching agents and does not contain ammonia. When using Eliminate, you have two options. You have the silver box, which is going to go ahead and remove oxidative hair color, and the black box is more for direct dyes. So my guest in this video, in this tutorial, has about 90 to 100% gray and wanted to be silver. She also has about 4 to 6 years of box dye buildup that she has been doing at home to maintain her color, and she does pull through frequently. So when she wanted to go lighter, this was a no-brainer to make the lightening process easier and more gentle. I want to remind you before we get started that you should always refer to the instructions. I always pull them out of the box, read them thoroughly, and read them step by step just to make sure I mix everything perfectly and make sure I don't miss any steps. So step 1 is you're going to apply it to dry hair. We're going to mix equal parts of the RUSK Eliminate Step 1 Color Reducer and Step 2 Conditioning Catalyst. You can mix it in a tint bowl and do a bowl and brush application, or you can do an applicator bottle application. Mix as much as will be needed for the density and length of the hair that requires the correction. Wearing gloves and using a tint brush, apply quickly and evenly to the hair. If mixed in an applicator bottle, shake vigorously until thoroughly mixed, about 45 seconds to 1 minute. Gently work through the hair to ensure even saturation. I'm applying with a friend in this video because she was available and I was like, please come help me. We applied really quickly and she's beating me in the application right now, but we ended up getting the color on in about 5 minutes. Only apply the solution to areas that need color correction. I'm staying as far off the base as I can, but if it touches the base a little bit, that's okay. You want to make sure that you're not applying it directly to the scalp unless the color at the scalp needs to be corrected. It is safe to do so, but I would recommend staying off the scalp if possible and only addressing areas that need correction to avoid any shift in the base. You can see I'm using my fingers and firm pressure to rub the product in and feather it up off the base. Cover the hair loosely with a plastic processing cap and process up to 20 minutes. Strand test frequently, and a low dryer heat may be used to speed processing time. I checked her hair about 20 minutes later, and this is what it looked like. Rinse hair for 3 to 5 minutes and shampoo twice with PUREMIX activated charcoal purifying shampoo. If sufficient color is not removed, repeat steps 1 and 2. This may be done on damp towel dried hair, depending on the condition of the scalp and hair. Do not repeat the process more than 2 or 3 times. In this video, you can see I'm doing the remover twice. She had so much box dye buildup in her hair, and the way that these color removers work is the dye molecules are shrunken. They're shrinking so small so that they can slide out of the cuticle layer and down the drain. So the molecules are still there, and some of them did get rinsed out in the first rinse, but there are still color molecules in the hair. So what we're doing now is we're reapplying again quickly on towel blotted hair. And you can see her hair looks much lighter, but the reason it looks much lighter is that the dye molecules are shrunken. So there's still dye molecules in the hair, they're just so small that the eye can't see them. So when they're this small, they're able to slip out of the hair easier, and when we do the next steps, we're able to remove them a lot because they're so small. But don't be fooled. The dye molecules are still there, and when we do the last step, the hair may darken slightly, but that's because the last step will, activate those color molecules again, bring them to their normal size so that the eye can see them. So these color removers, it's important to understand how they work so that you don't get stressed out and so that you do the process exactly as it should be done. Because sometimes you might think, oh, okay, it looks great, and you might skip a step. Do not do that. Follow all of the steps. It is so important for this to work. So I'm going in and applying again. We're going really, really quickly, and I'm using firm pressure to go in and make sure there's even penetration. So after it's processed for the second time, we're gonna rinse. Remember, you're gonna rinse for 3 to 5 minutes and then clarify the hair. I recommend shampooing and really working the shampoo in so those tiny, tiny dye molecules can slip out of the hair. It is so important to thoroughly rinse and shampoo. I recommend a sniff test to make sure that you've gotten all of the product out, and it will be safe to lighten directly after. These treatments are so gentle and they make a world of a difference. So I shampooed for about 10 minutes and then rinsed, and then we're gonna do the last step. So in the silver box for the RUSK Color Eliminate, you will see step 1 and 2, which we mixed in the beginning, and then you'll see step 3. This is the step 3 processing solution, and you're gonna apply that and let it sit for 5 minutes, but I'm not really letting it sit. I am working it in with my fingers and applying it very, very generously and working it in to make sure it's evenly saturated and make sure it's penetrating every single hair. So I'm going in, I'm squeegeeing it a little bit. I'm making sure that every single hair gets this step because it is the most important step. I want to put out there that, people do get frustrated with color removers because you could see how light it is right now in the video. And then this step will slightly darken it most of the time because the dye molecules right now are shrunken so small that the eye can't see them. And what we're doing now is we're using the step 3 processing solution, which is a low-level developer, to go in and expand and activate those dye molecules again so that they can blow up so our eye can see them. It's going to show us exactly what's left in the hair, and even though it will slightly darken a little bit, the lifting process will be so much easier. She will be ready to lighten right after this process. So I wanted to put that out there and just show you, how I apply the step 3, really working it in. I'm not putting too much of a firm pressure, but I am gently scrubbing it in and squeegeeing it in to make sure that every hair is saturated. So you could see it slightly darkening in the video. That's okay. I want to see what's left in there, and even though it will darken a little bit, I removed tons and tons and tons of color molecules, and it's going to make lightening the next step so much easier. After you've done this step and let the hair sit for about 5 minutes, you clarify the hair. I would clarify it for another 2 to 3 minutes, and never underestimate the sniff test. Smell the hair, make sure all the product is out. Give her a nice conditioner and then go in and blow dry, and she will be ready for her lightening process. So this is the after of the 2 RUSK Color Eliminates. I will show you side by side the before and after. So this is a close-up of all of the color that we removed. She's a few shades lighter, and even though her hair is slightly darkened a little bit based on what you saw processing, it is ready to lift, and the lifting process will be so much easier. Look at that transformation. It is hard to imagine a life of color corrections before using this amazing tool, Color Eliminate. So since I already mentioned my guest wanted to go from dark brown to silver, I wanted to just show you a few clips of her color correction. So we did this foil right after her Eliminate service. I went in and did a full platinum card on her, taking tiny, tiny, tiny sections, making sure that everything was saturated and making sure that I was super diligent with my section size, because that is the most important thing when it comes to lifting is your section size, especially when going all over blonde. That's me in my salon. But then after processing, this was her lift. So she got really, really light, and I feel like if we didn't didn't do the eliminate, she might have been stuck at the yellow orange, and there definitely is still some yellow in the hair, but I did decide to take it off soon just so I could preserve the integrity of her hair. So this is the raw lift. You'll see like it's nice and bright, not too much banding. And this was the result after it was rinsed. So I feathered to leave out her gray, and she got a nice level 9, I would say. And then I toned her a few times and got a nice even result. And then I did a few more steps, but I'll show you the final result of her first session, which is coming up on the next slide. And then the following slide is the result from her second session, where we just went in and did like an express platinum card, which is just bigger section. So this is the first session. She definitely got a silver result, but I wanted it a little bit lighter, so we went in next time, did a little express platinum card, lifted a little more, and these were the results. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope after watching you're excited to try Eliminate and that you use it as the amazing tool that it is for all of your corrections. I'll see you on the next one.